All right, so today we're going to talk about the postcard assignment. In the postcard assignment, there were a couple different things that you had to do. You were going to be creating a postcard that is going to be two-sided. One side is going to be the mailer side that is made up of the address, the return address, the postage, and the barcode area that the post office would essentially put onto there when they go to mail it. The other side is going to be the information side of the postcard that talks about whatever kind of party you're going to have, whether or not it's going to be a graduation party or it's going to be a birthday party or a pool party that you're going to have this summer. Those are the two sides of the cards you're going to have to create. On the handout that I gave to you, there's postcard requirements, so make sure you go over those. But some of those include return address, the address area, postage holder, barcode area, critical party information, high quality graphics being used, and proper color usage, and try to keep the fonts to 3 or less. If you're going to be doing any outside graphics work, either in Photoshop or Illustrator, make sure you're using high quality graphics and you're creating the right size document. Especially if you're inside of Photoshop, you need to make sure that you're using a 300 DPI document. There is some vocab that needs to be talked about. There were some important terms listed on the front of the sheet, and one was the bleed size and the other was the final size. So if we take a look at the document that's on the screen right now, this is a InDesign document that I've made for you guys, and it kind of talks or will show what I mean, what a bleed side is. So a bleed is essentially going to be color that gets overprinted. It's going to be color that gets cut off when we go to finally trim this. So you've got the red area here on this InDesign document, and that area will just have some color. It could be color or it could be a photo background. It doesn't bother me. Then you've got the dotted line. That's going to be what we trim to. Once we get done trimming it, we are then going to have to focus on the green line here. This green line is the text safe area. This is where all the important information needs to be. You don't want to have anything hanging outside of that area. Otherwise, it may get cut off when you go to trim the final card to its correct size. So let's take a look at the layers really quick. There's going to be 3 different layers on the mailer side template that I've got made for you. You've got a finish size, you've got card template, and you've got artwork layer. The artwork layer is the only one that you should be working on. The other layers will eventually be turned off. They're just there as a template for you. So if you turn to the second page of the handout that I gave to you, you've got 2 different setups here. You've got the USPS postcard regulation document. It kind of lays some things out. It's kind of difficult to look at if you don't know what you're seeing. But essentially what needs to happen here is we're going to be working on that artwork layer. I'm going to make a background color first. And this can either be color or it can be a photo. And simply all I did is just took a rectangle frame and I'm going to fill it in with some color just so we can see it for right now. If you look though on the template, there needs to be some what's called toner free areas. This is where a barcode from the post office will get printed, and you'll also be putting the address that's going to be mailed to in that area as well. So if we go ahead and look at this, it says that the toner free barcode area needs to be 0.75 inches tall by 6.25 wide. So 6.25 by 7.5. There's that, and we can go ahead and fill it in with white. Once we fill it in with white, we just want to move it into place. And if you look at the document, it looks like it is touching the bleed line, so you want to make sure you place that as well. Also, go ahead and make the toner free area, which says that it is 3.7 inches wide by 2.875 tall. Again, fill that with white, and what this is essentially doing is blocking that color or photo that you have in the background. So you've created these areas where no toner will print. From here, you can go ahead and make the return address area. On the sheet I gave to you, it shows a darker gray box. You necessarily don't need to create the box, but you do need to make text that stays inside of the text safe zone. So I'm not going to make the gray box. I'm just going to make up an address here real quick. So say it's Hananiga that's mailing this. Their address is 307 Salem Street, and their city is Rockton, and their zip is 61072. So make sure you get all three of those pieces of information in there. And then you also need to create a stamp. The stamp box says that it should be 1 inch by 0.8. Alright, so you've gone ahead and created that box. There's a couple ways you could do this. Just make sure that it's sitting inside of the text safe area. You can put a stroke on there if you want to represent where the stamp should go. You can fill it with white if you wanted. It's completely up to you, or you could go out to the internet and grab a photo and a picture of a stamp and put it there if you would like. One last box that needs to be created, and that's going to be the area where the addresses are going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and place that in the area that represents the address area. I'm going to then get my text tool up. I'm going to click inside the box, and I'm just going to type some letters really quick. All I want to do is essentially set my character preferences before I do my data merge. So I'm going to make something that's nice and bold, easy to read. Maybe increase the font size just a little bit. Maybe we'll make it like 18. And I'm also going to maybe center it in the box. Do a Command B as well so I can align it to the center. And now if I were to add some more lines in, the address will kind of float there right in the middle. So that's kind of what we want, but we're going to just delete the text. If I go back to preview mode, or normal mode, you'll see the boxes are still there. I'm going to turn this off really quick. Before you do your data merge, what you're going to want to do is turn off your card template layer. By turning this off, when we do our data merge, it won't step and repeat the card template background. To get to your data merge, what you're going to want to do is go to Window, Utilities, Data Merge, and we're going to go down to Select Data Source. And from here, you have to navigate out wherever you saved your data. Remember, you have to make all your data yourself. It needs to be made in Excel, and you need to save it as a tab delimited file. If you don't close Excel before you try to do your data, it will not work. So make sure that you're closing Excel down all the way before you try to do this. Postcard. Here's my data file. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, open up. As you can see, I've got this data now. I got a name, street, city, state, and zip. If I click inside of my text box that I made, I can go ahead and start putting these pieces. Once you get the name in, you have to push enter because you want to move to the next line. You got your street, enter, city. Instead of pushing enter, you're going to put a comma in there and put space, put state, another space, and zip. Oops, so we kind of ran out of room here maybe a little bit, so we're going to go change the size of our font one. We're going to bring it down to maybe 17. See if that'll fit. Yep, that works. So we've got it. It looks good. We're going to then push the data merge button in the corner of the data merge box, change it over to a multiple record, push on preview, and you see it kind of moved it off to the side of the document there. If you flip through the packet, it gives you the correct placement for the margins. So you need to click on multiple record layout, uncheck the linking boxes, and we want to put in 0.75 for the top. The bottom needs to be 0.5. Left is 1.125. Right is 0.5. And space between the rows is going to be 1. Go ahead and click OK. So essentially, right here, no overset text was generated. If you look up the top here, it's actually created two files. You've got a mailer side 1, and you've got a mailer side. The mailer side is going to be the original file, so if you ever need to make any changes, you can go back to that one. But if you need to, the final document is the mail side 1. You're going to want to save this document, and you can see I've got my addresses correctly, I've got my return address, I've got an area where the stamp would go, and I've also got my white space for it. This is going to end up creating 3 different files, pages if you look in the pages panel. So you got that done. Information side is another file. You're just going to want to go ahead and make sure you're also working in the artwork layer there. I'm going to make this really fast just so we can get this video done. I'm going to put some yellow in here. to represent the card. We need to switch that so it is in the back. Make sure it's the correct size. I'm going to make another text box real quick that says party info. Once you get this made, obviously you're going to want to take some photos and take some time in here. If this is where you want to go to Photoshop, do a little bit of work there, you can. But put some effort into this. Once you get it all put together, you're going to take this. Once you get the top one done, you're going to copy it. So Control C, and you are going to paste it then down below. Before we merge these two documents together, you also want to make sure you turn off the card template layer. So once you get that turned off, we need to do what's called floating the window. We need to be able to see this window and the other window, the mailer side 1. So I'm going to pull it out off the top of the bar. You can see it's now resting on top of my mailer side. From here, it's really simple. The directions just show some dragging and dropping. You want to go to your Pages panel. Make sure that you've got the information side selected. You're going to drag and drop the thumbnail onto the mailer side. And what that is going to do is going to ask you where you want to insert it. Go ahead and just click after page 1. And you can see if you look in your Pages panel, it has inserted the information side below your mailer. You need to duplicate this twice, so duplicate it again. I just drag it down to the new layer icon, do that 2 times, and then drag them and reposition them inside of your Pages Masters page master page. And now you can see you've got it's alternating every other one, and from here you could go ahead and print this to the printer.